Ride your bike enough and before long it'll start feeling tired. It's hard to put that exactly into words what it feels like, but in essence it won't feel as crisp, the drivetrain won't feel as sharp, it just feels tired. But all you might need to do is a 1 hour tune-up and it gets back to its former glory. I look at maybe doing this to my bikes every 6 months to a year, depending on how much each one gets ridden. That means a thorough clean, fresh grease in the bearings and on the seat post, new cables, a new chain, and new bar tape. Yeah, it'll cost a bit of money, but it saves cash in the long run and it stops me buying a new bike. If you'd like more detail on how to do any of these individual tasks, these links will become clickable at the end of the video, taking you then to the relevant how-to. To start with, it needs a thorough clean. Now, if you haven't seen it already, check out our video explaining just how to do that. What you won't need to do though is clean the chain. Because I'm getting rid of it, I'll just take it off now and then stick it straight in the bin. First up, I know that the type of conditions that I ride in really mean I have to take good care of my headset bearings. Grit and wet can infiltrate that bottom race there in particular and it can really nail the bearing. So take the wheel out, the top cap off, the stem off and drop the forks out. You can see this lower bearing is caked in crap, so give it a good clean with a rag, getting all the old grease off. And don't neglect the inside of the frame too. While I'm here, I'll do the top race as well. Pack it all out with some grease and reassemble. Now, while the chain's off, I take the opportunity to check out the bearings on my bottom bracket. Give them a good spin, and if they're anything other than buttery smooth, I'll think about replacing them. Yeah, it costs a bit of money, but this is, after all, a thorough service, and a nice fresh bottom bracket makes a big difference. Now, I always seem to be replacing my brake and gear cables, but with good reason. They regularly get full of grit, and when they do, they absolutely destroy braking and gear shifting quality. Now, we've got full videos explaining how to do this, and when you get comfortable with it, it's a really quick job. So as part of this service, I do precisely that. Now, to replace your cables, of course, you need to get rid of your bar tape. Now, this stuff is absolutely rank, so it's a perfect opportunity to take it off and get rid of it. Conveniently, I tend to find that my brake cables and my bar tape tend to wear at a similar rate. So when I do replace the cables, I just replace the tape. Changing your cables isn't difficult, but you need to know the process for doing it. We've got step-by-step guides, and to watch them, just click on these links at the end of the video. Having replaced the cables, we obviously can't actually index the gears until we get our new chain on. So take your new chain, measure it up compared to the old one so that it's exactly the same length, and then just pop it on. Right, we're nearly there. Chain's on, cables are on, just time to do the indexing now. We've got full videos explaining exactly how to do that to your gears, so click on those in the final end board. Just 2 more jobs to do. Before I tackle the bar tape, I need to get my hands clean, because I'm putting white bar tape back on. There's nothing worse than getting smudges on your brand new bar tape. Something that I've forgotten to do too many times is that you should always have a look to see whether your seat post needs re-greasing. Now, this is carbon on carbon, so it's not too bad. If you've got an alloy frame and a carbon post, or an alloy post and a carbon frame, the two can actually pretty much glue themselves together, and I've lost plenty of carbon posts and alloy frames in the process. It's a good idea then to remind yourself to check it out every now and then. Right then, your bike's good to go. It should feel like new. Yes, you've had to spend a little bit of money, but you can buy all those parts really quite cheaply, and it's significantly cheaper than buying an entirely new bike. So it means a thorough clean, fresh grease in the bearings and on the seat post, new cables, a new chain, and new bar tape. If you need to know how to do any of these things, remember that you can just click on these links to watch the relevant how-to.